it's going to still have a lot of freedom. We'll be taking questions and everything as well. But really, we want to cover off a lot of the major news topics in Illuvium, and as well as some of the lesser known news topics, things like governance.
I'm pretty sure you're streaming to the wrong place.
I'm not.
Is it live?
Shit, I might be. Hold on.
I'm refreshing it. It's not playing. Oh, is it? Oh, it is. It is. Huh? We're streaming. My bad, guys.
We're streaming. All right. So
it's on me.
Where this idea actually came from is TSG tagged me, right? And he said, Roger's put up this thing. What do you think about updating Augment and doing a second session on a weeknight? Okay, let us know if you guys like tonight in particular. It could be tonight, yesterday night, tomorrow night, like in kind of general. And we want to do this weekly. If you guys enjoy it, if you guys get something out of it, if you guys learn something, it's going to be really good to keep everyone updated on Illuvium news. It's going to be a really good initiative because there's so much that goes under the radar, and not everyone can spend 24 hours in the Discord every week. You know what I mean? Like there's only so much time in the day, and me and TSG and many others are in the thick of it all the time. So it's going to be really helpful for us to be able to bring this stuff to you. So do you have anything to add, TSG, before we jump into the first topic?
No, I'm excited, man. Like this is gonna be fun because truthfully, a lot of this stuff skips me as well in the Discord because I don't spend as much time like checking up for this shit. So hopefully by doing this, I'll catch up on some stuff that I might have missed through you. And because of doing this, I'll probably try and stay more up to date with the things that are happening in the community, things like that. I'm excited. It's gonna be a little bit more free flowing, a little bit more casual than Augment. So I'm very, very excited, man. It's gonna be a good time.
All right, awesome. So the first thing we're going to jump into is a bunch of the key leaks of the week. Now, some of this was shown on Showcase and some of it wasn't, but there's some really interesting stuff. The first one here is the Mantle, okay? I think it's called the Mantle. They call it the Mantle or something in the file name. But basically, you can see Arlen going around. She can vault and jump over things. It's a bit laggy. But, like, the craziest thing about this one was about 3 days ago or a week ago, Grant put out another leak that was pretty much the same thing, except it was way less polished. There was a lot of clipping. There was a lot of weird stuff going on. But now, it looks like they pretty much nailed it. Like, it's not in the game yet, but it looks pretty good. What do you reckon?
No, I think it's sick, man. Like, again, I saw a couple of comments legitimately asking, yo, why would we need this when you can just jump over it? But I think we just saw it. Like, if you're flying and you hit a ledge, I think it's cool if it automatically just grabs on. It seems more realistic. Or if you're sliding and you hit a little thing. No, I think it's a nice little addition to add some realism into it. So I'm excited. It's not something I'm like overly obsessed about, but it's a nice touch, a nice bit of polish. Yeah, I'm keen to see how they implement it and what people kind of feel once we're in the game, because all the movement mechanics have been fucking insane so far. Yeah, it's gonna be really sick.
Yeah, just wait till that grapple hook comes in. All right.
Oh, so I totally forgot about that.
The next one to jump into is the promo disc, promo Illuvatars, this leak. It's all blurred out. We can't see what the promos are. TSG definitely can't tell us. So no.
Yes, I can actually. I can actually reveal it right here. No, I can't. Suck it.
I don't know what to think of this. I don't know what it is.
Well, if someone in the chat guesses it, I'll say if they're correct. If you guys
guesses it.
If you guys in chat guess it right, I'll confirm.
I reckon it's a clothing brand of some kind, but besides that, I got nothing. I'm seeing a lot of pink, and I feel like that's relevant, but I don't know any pink brands. Like, it's not Gucci or anything. I don't even know what Gucci is.
That was really I think Artemis, Star Wars. Ooh,
that'd be insane.
It could be. No, I think zooming in. I think Artemis zoomed into it. I don't know if you can. But like it's got like a visor, I think glasses, a headset. Some people said maybe it's something to do with tennis. But no, I'm really excited, man. We haven't said when we're going to make this announcement yet.
Well, this up here says our final days are drawing near, where Illuvium Beyond Wave 1 is set to conclude on June 5. As one chapter closes, another prepares to unfold, which makes me think the day before or the day of.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Look. So I won't say the date, but I mean they've kind of hinted it there. No, I'm fucking excited, man, for everyone to see this one. I think it's a massive deal, and You know, I'm fucking excited. I'm really, really excited. I can't wait to see what everyone else says. Roblox, I mean, close. You know, I'm just saying, I'm waffling. Phase, yeah, very, very close.
Fucking phase for the win. All right,
Phase.
you want to jump on to the next one now?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Are you gonna get many of the like? What's your interest in the partnership discs? Because it's gonna be limited. Are you gonna get is the amount that you're going to get going to be dependent on the partner, or are you regardless going to get in, or regardless going to stay out?
It'll probably mostly depend on, how do I put this? It'll probably mostly depend on the structure. Like if there's a chance at maybe 5 or 6 different Illuvatars, I'll be inclined to try and collect them all. That's a big part for me.
Has that information not been out? I'm almost certain it has, right? It hasn't?
Not the exact number or anything like that,
Okay,
or the exact format. I mean, we've touched on it a bit, but nothing's really set in stone. But the big thing is for me is like if there's only 2 or 3 Illuvatars or they don't seem all that collectible, I probably won't go hard. But if they're highly collectible, there's 20, 30 in the collection, they're all different kinds, and there's Atlas and Fiery and all the rest of it, then I'd probably go decent. But I don't have any Ethereum waiting in the sidelines or anything right now. I'll be playing it by ear. I don't exactly have a lot of cash waiting for anything, and much of anything right now, unfortunately. So it's a little bit like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I've got a little budget that I'm gonna go play with. Luckily, I know what's going on and what's gonna happen, so I'm excited for it. But I've got a budget that I'm gonna play with. Yeah.
That being said, I do have the Illuvium Beyond leaderboard rewards sitting in my wallet, so that might come in handy.
Yeah. I've got it, man. I got kicked out just before they did the snapshot as well, so that was some bullshit. I'm gonna buy some from this wave to get the 500, and then I'm not gonna try and get back on the leaderboard till wave 2. Once wave 2 comes in, I'll start playing the game again.
Yep. All right, let's jump into the next leak, the last one for today, which is the merch leak. I mean, so we can see it here.
Yeah.
The Illuvium embroidered on the stuff and the different tags and everything. It looks premium. It looks like really nice fabric and everything. I can't wait to get my hand on this stuff, man. I'll probably wear it way too much.
Yeah, and I think we can leak this a little bit. You've actually had a bit of an inside look at the store already. Like, what are your thoughts on that experience and shit?
Highly practical, really. There's nothing worse than trying to navigate a store, especially e-commerce, and being kind of bombarded with stuff that you don't really care about. I think the selection makes a lot of sense. It's all laid out really well. And the big thing for me was the displays. I was afraid because the UI for the Illuvidex is kind of average, to be honest, and the search doesn't work all that well and things like that. The big things being like when you go to bond and you can't search for the item you want to bond and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest concern, but I can say that it was pretty smooth. It was pretty easy. It was simple. It did what it needed to do, and I didn't really have any issues with it. So
it's not not perfect. The display stuff isn't perfect. Like for someone like Kieran, where he's got like a lot of Illuvatars, it takes a bit of time to register all of them that he has. Even someone like Dick, so it doesn't take a little bit of time there. But no, yeah, I'm really excited. I legit have everything in my cart. I'm gonna make a purchase tomorrow. I've got 2 disc plates in there, 2 hoodies, and 4 t-shirts. Like I'm going pretty hard on this first one, and everything's black, which is obviously the color for me, you know. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see, and everyone's been like merch store. We were talking about that today as well in one of our internal meetings. Everyone for 2 years has been saying when merch. They're finally going to get it. I'm excited to see how everyone kind of reacts. Obviously, it's just the first iteration. We're going to have more stuff come in. Dimitri white is real good. Yeah, Dimitri's actually got the white. So Dimitri knows exactly what he's talking about. Yeah, I'm more of a black, but it is what it is.
You know what though? The merch
sorry. I'm just gonna jump in. Dimitri, black is better because black is slimming. Keep that in mind.
I will say because June's still Q2, isn't it?
June is Q2, correct. July is Q3. That's correct.
I will say it's a pretty big milestone in Illuvium's history, but in Web3 in general. With Overworld, Illuvium 0, and the merch store, if we get the merch store in June, we would assume, right? you guys would have hit the roadmap date for all three of them.
And I know it's not on the roadmap. Partnership discs, Wave 2. Yeah, it's where we're holding ourselves accountable.
But like you guys nailed it. I think it's really easy to overlook stuff like that. And I'll make a big deal about it myself on my channel. I think I have a few ideas.
Sick. No, I appreciate it. No, we're really working hard to get to that Q4 release. That's legitimately the goal internally.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy, but we're definitely. Well, I won't say we, like the rest of the team, Dimitri and the guys developing the marketing team, has not that much to do with building the game. More, it's all the geniuses on the back end there.
But like, sorry.
My guy's sleeping. He's not excited about the game, guys. Cuss him out in chat. Cuss him out.
11. Once we start to get PvP into our hands, I think it'll all start to fall into place. But the problem is we've never really seen anything to do with PvP, which is making life harder and harder. I think that's the big one. But if we even got some leaks soon, that would be really sick too. But yeah, anyways, credit where it's due. You guys nailed it. Nailed the roadmap. And yeah, PvP was slated for Q3 anyway. So we're doing really, really well. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm excited.
We've got a few announcements to cover off today. The first one being the $10 million. Oh, whoops, I'm on the wrong thing. I got them out of order.
You fucked it up.
Got them out of order.
The whole show is ruined.
So Kieran is excited to announce that they have raised an additional $10 million in funding from Framework Ventures. These funds will be used to accelerate our development effort further and support our distributed group of contributors as they build and bring the market to the Illuvium universe. Very, very exciting. Me personally, Kieran's been doing all the heavy lifting. Obviously, this is pretty much his job to a certain extent, or at least a large part of his job. And yeah, the entire council's been supporting him the best we can. And I'm glad we finally got to the end of that one. So a big moment in Illuvium's history and extends the runway, pretty much doubles it. And brings us out to early 2025, considering current burn rate, which is very, very exciting.
Yeah, no, I think it's super bullish, man. And we, like I said, we had a bit of an internal meeting today with the team, and everyone's kind of stoked about that. Like, Fear's TSG looking fresh. Thank you, absolutely. I'm glad that we're talking about the important things here. But yeah, no, it's really good to have that in our back pocket now. Again, if we're aiming for Q4. Runway isn't even a conversation anymore. Like we're solid. We can scale up the back end. We can scale up the devs. Make sure that we really get all hands on deck to hit those deadlines. No, it's massive, and I think it's actually a super bullish signal, even in this market where it's completely risk off, right? Like people aren't just throwing capital the way they used to. For someone, Frameworks to want to put in 10 mil into a project like this where you have just started to generate revenue. The game isn't out yet, but they're able to see where we're at. They're able to see the numbers that were put together and kind of our expectations. For them to kind of double down on that is insane. And they haven't sold a single thing. I think publicly, I don't know if you've got that tweet, but I think publicly as well, they've said that they haven't sold anything and they're not planning to sell for 10 years. That's kind of the time frame that they're looking at for a project like Illuvium. So yeah, I think getting that second wind of funding at this stage of development is incredibly, incredibly bullish. And the team is super grateful to Kieran, Vic, all the guys on the back making it happen. It wasn't just a single person. It was not the entire team, a group of people that made that happen for sure.
Yeah, it's huge. So we should quickly answer, anyone can ask questions as we go on, but we should quickly answer DJ Sam Withers' question. As the game isn't linked to the blockchain, is this a big hurdle coming towards the end of the year? You might know better than me, otherwise I can speak my mind as well.
Look, I think we've got all of the, and I take this with a grain of salt. I'm not an expert. This isn't my field. But if I'm not mistaken, based on the meetings that I sit in on and things like that, I think the framework has already been built for everything. It just kind of needs to be switched on, and there are minor things that need to be worked on still. But I think the majority of that is all done. It's just the actual switching on. So that, and obviously we've still got the fuel pool, the fuel pool and things like that. There are still things that need to be worked on, but it's not like we're starting from zero, as far as I'm aware. And I'm not an expert on that, so I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct.
I can't remember who said it. It might have been Nick, but I remember Nick telling me that Illuvitas was quite an interesting project to work on because every single component of the Illuvitas is actually something that is proof of concept very, very closely to a lot of the other aspects of the Illuvium game. For example, if you're fusing 3 alluvials together, it's kind of like bonding an Illuvitar. It destroys the 3 alluvials, burns them, and then mints a new alluvial and gives it to you. So they've actually built a lot of the code and the blockchain tech and everything for these sorts of aspects that are going to go into the Illuvium overworld. And so I think they're definitely not starting from zero, as you said, and that's going to be a big component moving forward.
So yeah, we just got confirmation from Dimitri. That's correct. And Prodigy, what's up? Yeah, and that's the thing that kind of bugs me a little bit about the some of the negative sentiment towards Illuvium Beyond. Like they thought it was just it was a way for us to test it and scale, like to actually see. Yeah, exactly. And again, what Dimitri's saying, everything we're doing is intentional. There are reasons for it, right? Survival isn't for fun. It's to test things, and it's a base. Illuvium Beyond wasn't just a fun thing that we were doing. Yeah, it's a fun project that we did, but there were intentions behind it to test out the marketplace so they could handle the scale that we were going to bring, which clearly they did. The secondary transactions, clearly that's popping off, doing the right thing. The burn mechanics. There are so many things that are happening. Linking the accounts, leaderboards, all of these things were essentially tested in a nice way from Illuvium Beyond. So we're not going to have those kind of teething problems when we launch the actual game. So for anyone that talks shit about Illuvium Beyond, I beg that they take their subjective opinion and throw it away and look objectively and see that it's a bigger picture and it's not just fucking, I don't like this. No one gives a shit. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Also, a lot of the teams are separated out, and I don't have the full details on it, but those that are working on Illuvium Beyond don't have like insane amounts of overlap with those that are working on PvP. It's not like Illuvium Beyond is slowing down the overall progress of the game. Maybe a tiny bit or whatever it might be, but not like as much as some people in the community seem to think. Like we're not managing it all.
Yeah. Essentially, we're not making inefficient decisions. Like to think that is just absurd. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we'll move on to the next announcement, which is the IMC election has finished. So we'll jump over to this one. So they're happy to announce that Kieran is going to be the team admin for the IMC. Obviously, he's a co-founder. Animositas is going to be the strategy sub-council, and he knows, you might know him from YouTube.
I actually didn't see this. This is the first time I've seen this.
JP from Arcade is going to be on the marketing sub-council. These are all unanimous votes, by the way. 4-1. I think one of them was 3-2, and I can't remember which one it was. It might have been game sub-council. And Caveman for game sub-council, and Blichter for community sub-council. So that's your 5 on the IMC at this time. So very, very exciting. You can see all the snapshots here. Just jump into the Discord, jump into announcements. Anything you wanted to add? Very exciting.
No, I think that's I mean, with the whole GovV2, there was some controversy, a lot of politicking going around, which I definitely wasn't a fan of. So it was a lot of there was some qualified people and a lot of bullshit. But I think the IMC is a good representation of the best in the community. So I'm very happy with that. And it's the first time I've actually seen this. I totally skipped over this. So yeah, I swear to God, I didn't even see this.
Well, I already knew all the electeds before the votes started happening because everyone was having the discussions. But the only one that really surprised me, I don't really know Caveman that well, so I didn't really know what was going to happen. I kind of expected Viper, but I think I'm a little bit ahead of the sand.
The majority of the gaming sub-council doesn't. There's fucking politics, and Viper isn't a favorite over there. I would have chosen Viper, but I think Caveman was the politically correct choice for them, where there was no fucking bridges being burned. It was just let's pick the neutral character, which is Caveman.
The other one was Annie.
But I also think that Caveman is. I think Caveman is a solid pick there. I don't want to just say he got picked because he was neutral. He is a solid pick there.
Yeah, I've heard very good things.
Yeah.
And Annie surprised me a little bit. I wasn't sure if he wanted to do IMC for this epoch. Mm-hmm. If yes, then it was an obvious choice. Otherwise, I was kind of expecting Scrubs to be the IMC. But
no. I spoke to most of them in that strategy. I'm pretty close to most of them. No, I think it was between Annie and Scrubs. and I think they went Annie just because he had prior experience, and again he's had that executive kind of history, so it kind of makes sense with him being Ink Lizards and whatnot. I think it makes more sense and I love Scrub. I think it makes more sense for Annie. I'm really happy with this. For all of the shit that Gov V2 was kind of brought, and I mean not the people, I mean all of the fucking theatrics that Gov V2 was brought. This is a very, very solid IMC in my opinion.
It's very good to see 3 existing IMC on the IMC this time around. I think it'll help smooth the transition as well. So very, very good. All right. Agreed. So the next thing is we've got Illuvitar's rewards distributed. Just quickly, the next round of rewards were distributed and the snapshot taken. I haven't checked the leaderboard. I hope I'm still on it, but I haven't.
Yeah, you're way up, bro. You're way up.
Cool.
Yo, by the way, there's one more week of triple points, right?
No, because this snapshot that was just taken is the 3rd week.
Oh, okay, shit. Okay, cool. So it's back to
it hasn't been distributed yet, but the snapshot's been taken for the 3rd week.
Right. Has 2nd week been distributed?
That was the one just then.
Oh, right. Okay.
So 2nd week was distributed today, and 3rd week snapshot was taken today.
Right. Understood. I'm checking as we speak. Did I? Okay, no, I just got the 1st week. All right, cool. Shit. Yeah. No, I'm excited to see what happens wave 2, man, with the leaderboard. I think you're gonna see like a bunch of whales come back in and do that thing. Yeah.
It'll be really interesting. There's even been a little bit of discussion on like the disc rewards, because you guys, we had the wave 1 launch party, and for some reason I didn't really think about the launch party for wave 2. It's just never popped into my head. And
yeah, I was gonna say, has Dick put that poll forward to you guys?
Yeah. So there's been a little bit of internal discussion regarding kind of some of the launch party stuff we should be talking about, and I want to put it forward to the community soon as well, and things like that.
Yeah,
that's kind of why I made that tweet. Like, what are your hopes and dreams for wave 2? And everyone said make a game, and I'm like, whatever.
I mean, you got to be more specific than that, man. What the fuck?
I liked keeping it open-ended, but maybe I'll do something more specific. But
it needs to be specific.
I'm looking forward to see what the wave 2 launch party stuff is going to have. All right.
Yeah.
So the next thing we've got is community discussions. So this one's to do with the creator program discussion. And did you want to talk to us about this one?
Yeah. No, I just saw this. I just saw this in the Discord today, actually, and it was just talking about, say, like, again, you're a streamer following, and then you realize you can actually earn by bringing people into the game. Essentially, what he's describing is a creator code or affiliate marketing, which is why Fortnite exploded the way that it did. It kind of what's up, Sage? What's up? It essentially gave creators a chance to monetize in a way that wasn't really seen in gaming. And it was just an incredible way to grow. And if you can actually make a solid percentage as a creator doing that, dude, and the best thing about that is it's always going to be net. No, I won't say always, but 99% of the time, it's going to be net positive for the studio, because you're not just throwing money out, you're paying back a commission to the creators. So I saw that, and I think that's really exciting, especially with the merch store coming out. I know I've spoken to you. We're going to start to implement things like that for the creators. I'm working on some stuff in the back end and really kind of nailing down the creator program that we have. And I'm just glad to see that the community understands how important that is, because if we nail that down, that marketing takes care of itself. If we get a bunch of people that can earn from doing this, and I'm saying earn in the thousands, depending on how many people they can bring in, bro, like, why would you play any other game? And especially if this game is fun. If you enjoy the game and you can earn from it, dude, it's game over for everyone. So it was just cool. I just wanted to touch on that and say I'm glad that I saw that in the community being brought up.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is we've got a little bit of community content. So if you guys have community content you want us to showcase on these things, tag us on Twitter or do whatever. We're going to be preparing the rundown. Oh, not the rundown. We're preparing the information we've got for the download as we go throughout the week. So if you got anything you want to throw us, just throw it to us and we'll add it to our list and decide if we want to put it on the show. And the next thing we've got is TSG found a mum and her son playing Illuvium. So this is Meg BZK. I've never seen this channel before, but she's got quite a few subscribers. Looks like she's a crypto influencer of some kind. She does a good job, but those two are enjoying Illuvium, having some fun with it. I watched a little bit of the video. It looks like a bit of fun.
Yeah. Now this was super wholesome, man. So I'm in touch with her and another creator. But yeah, so they kind of work together. But no, she played the game with instead of playing it by herself, she played with her son. And I was like, one, genius idea. And two, it was just wholesome. Like this kid was just having a good time. And obviously he didn't know what he was like doing that well. He's kind of just exploring and running around. But even in doing that, he was like, yo, this game looks better than Fortnite. I don't know if he was told to say that shit, but yeah, like he was just like, yo, this looks better than Fortnite. It was wholesome. Like I legitimately was like, this is so cool to see. And when they went into arena, they played a little bit, and his mom asked him, was like, oh, what's your favorite alluvial? And this is like the first time that he's playing this. He was like, it was just after Rampire I did the ult, and he's like, definitely the dragon. So I think that the Charizard effect is definitely happening, and they can definitely get that across. So that's sick. And then I heard back from her as well. And if you scroll down, you should see the comment. Because I saw this tweet. She tweeted about it. Yeah, the update. So she tweeted about it, and she was like, yo, so the son's name is Jetman. It was like, yo, he came back off his school to see if he could show his friends Illuvium. And I was like, no way could that be real. I was like, oh, you're just kind of milking this now, like no chance. So I messaged her, I was like, yo, are you being serious? She's like, no, for real. Like he legitimately wants to download it on his computer so he can just play it. And I was like, that's sick. So I sorted him out with a beta code. But no, I just thought it was sick, man. Seeing shit like this was like, again, kids fuck with it. Like, even if it's an auto battler, he was just lining them all up. But like, if we have that gradual kind of build up, I think they can learn like basic strategy to the game, and they can definitely participate. So I thought it was just really cool to see kids are pretty naive and kind of innocent. So it was cool to see that innocent take on the game. And yeah. And again, to see him kind of show his friends, dude, these guys didn't care about blockchain or earning or anything. They was like, yo, this shit just looks cool. So I think we're on, again, massive clap to the fucking team for that one. Like they smashed it. We smashed it because I was a part of that.
Enabling the blockchain for younger audiences is going to be an interesting one. Like, I don't know how easy or hard it's going to be for his mum to just throw a bunch of fuel into his account so he can play for the next couple of days or however long he needs and stuff like that. I don't know how that's going to work in these sorts of families and things like that, but I'd like to see that considered, because it seems like kids seem to really latch onto it. I know you weren't at Oz CryptoCon, but there was quite a few younger members of Oz CryptoCon that just spent hours and hours just playing the game all day, because everything else there was super boring to them. Obviously, there was no real quality games to play. There was nothing else, and it was all crypto talks and stuff. Yeah. And they just really enjoyed it. So
yeah, I'm just realizing, who the hell would bring their kid to a CryptoCon like that? What is that for?
They just did.
Yeah, okay, fair. Okay, yeah. I'm just realizing that now. It's like, yo, wild. But yeah, fair play.
Yeah. There was a handful, not many. There was a handful of kids there with their parents and stuff like that. But yeah. Right. Okay. So the next one we're going to jump into is we're going to jump into our only ideas chat thing for today. Now, when there's big things and big discussions and ideas chat in the future, we'll be bringing these things up. This is going to be one of the major segments I think we find in our thing. But the big one we're going to bring up today is the trading blackout idea. Okay. It's right here. Scrubs put it in, but I believe Blichter had some of the initial ideas and Annie had talked about it as well. There's a bit of a team effort between some of the sub-councils here. And to pretty much summarize it for you, the idea is that it would create a trading blackout. Well, it wouldn't really be heavily enforced, but obviously if anyone went to check the wallets, they could and things like that. But the idea is that for any core contributors or council members, once someone comes to them, for example, in my case, it would be Andrew would come to me and say, okay, you're under trading blackout now because I'm about to tell you information that you can't really trade based on that. That would be insider trading. Now, there's not really any rules or regulations surrounding that sort of stuff, but it's more of a good show of faith to the community and all the rest of it and stuff like that. And basically, he would tell me I'm under a blackout for the next 3 days, could be longer, depending on how people feel about it. For the next 3 days, I would not be allowed to trade the ILV token or certain NFTs or whatever, depending on kind of how all this stuff is structured. Now, it's a little bit general at the moment, but I definitely want to get into the weeds of it a bit if we start to take it further. But it's just one of those things. I think it's a really good idea. I'd like to see it get implemented. I think it's necessary. But no one needed to tell me to not trade if I have insider information. Like I've had opportunities to take advantage of the information I have, and I've been very honest with myself. And I do like the idea of having rules that make it a bit more transparent with everyone as well. I think I like that for sure.
Yeah. The only issue with this is like it's all good, and is Illuvium going to do a monthly pass? I don't know what you mean by that. Are we allowed to tell people that we're in a trade blackout? Probably not, because that means that
No.
we're pretty much saying that something's coming. No, in regards to the trade blackout, I mean it's all fucking flowers and rainbows, and it sounds amazing, and I agree it has to be done. But how are we meant to fucking enforce that? It's so like, how are you meant to enforce that? It's kind of difficult. So
that's the hard part. Is does someone take a bunch of time out of their day to make sure they're managing all this sort of shit? Like, how does it become painful for someone?
Maybe, of course it will. What are you talking about? Of course it will.
That's the tricky part. But I think more of a gentleman's agreement could be really cool. We just
but I mean that's what I mean. Like, but that's what I mean. Like in a perfect world, it's like, oh yeah, we're definitely not going to do that. But I mean, like, how are we going to enforce it? It's just fucking. Like, I like the idea. I think it's a good idea, but impossible to actually enforce. So I think it might just be for theatrics, if I'm being completely straight.
But I really like the idea of creating guidelines. For example, at the moment, there could be all this sorts of stuff I hear, and I don't really think about if that could affect the price when things are announced and so on and so forth. But if there's some clear guidelines where it makes it a lot more apparent to me, like, okay, I've been told this sort of stuff. I kind of know what's coming up. I definitely shouldn't be trading any of these sorts of assets at this time. That wouldn't really be honest. And just having some guidelines and it making it a bit more clear to everyone involved, and the sorts of things to be careful of. And I think that's really good as a start for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm keen to see how the conversation goes. I know some people are in support of it, but again, I just don't know how to. Again, yeah, there's just so many ways you make alt wallets and stuff. But yeah, I mean, yes, for the sake of this conversation, yes, I agree with the premise. I agree with the premise.
So this question regarding to Silent Sage is actually something I've been thinking about quite a bit every now and then. And I don't quite know how we would implement it, but this is like sort of like a battle pass. And I like the idea. I have been thinking about the potential for implementing some sort of subscription model. Now that sounds more weird than it is, but like, for example, if 10 Krypton cost you $10 and that you would say that might last you about a month of playtime, maybe you could pay that $10 up front to have like a fixed price in Krypton. I don't know how you would structure that with the economy, but you have a $10 price up front and you can just have a recurring monthly subscription. And I think the big win there is it would make it super easy for non-crypto natives to get used to it all. They wouldn't need to be spending Ethereum on Krypton every 2 days, 3 days, or whatever. They've just got like a monthly subscription.
But you can just, what you're saying is you can just buy in bulk then. If you just want to buy it. Yeah, like you just buy in bulk. I don't think that's a monthly subscription. You just buy when you're happy with the price, use some of it, you just budget it, right? Yeah.
But I mean, as Krypton is going to fluctuate in price and things like that, there might be a way to do something in the middle. And I think that's quite a good idea, especially when it comes to like kids and things like that. I don't know what it would quite look like, but yeah, buying in bulk. And if you can make buying in bulk really easy for the consumer to understand, then that probably serves the same purpose. I think you're right.
Yeah. Gang, is it because people are being accused? And not that I'm aware of, although I definitely not. Definitely not. No, I just think it's there's a lot of big stuff coming. So we're trying to just be proactive with it. Yeah.
It's just an honesty thing, gang. I think the council has grown by about factor of 5 from the last epoch to this epoch. So isolating some general guidelines and rules has become really, really important. Just making sure everyone's on the same page at all times. There's a lot of things that kind of are implied, but starting to make them a little bit more obvious is kind of where this is coming from, I think. All right. So the next thing we'll go into is my tip of the week. I really wanted to do like a little tip of the week type thing. All I'm going to say is, you can find something called seismic quartz in the overworld. Many of you may know that already. What you might not know is I've been looking into the stats of all the different nodes and ore deposits, and I've gathered about 350 different points of data now, and some really interesting stuff has come out. The big one with seismic quartz is with stage 1 and stage 2, the seismic quartz nodes have not been that good. They haven't even had that many shards in them. But the stage 3 ones are always kill it. Always. I don't know why that is, but if you go into a stage 3 run, try and find that seismic quartz if you have the time. I'd highly recommend it. It's going to save you a lot of time down the road. You can get like 4 to 5 epic shards, couple resplendents. Like, it's insane. So yeah, that's my tip of the week. All right.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I won't be participating in the tip because I'm not claiming to be an expert at any of these games. So I'm leaving that to Scoriox.
Let me know if you guys like it or not. If you guys don't like it, that's fine.
Everyone's like, yo, shut the fuck up, man.
All right. If you want to take us in the last one is a little bit of controversy in the community. There was a pack opening alternative posted by Vetamore in Feedback Ideas, and it got a record number of downvotes. I don't think it's a record number of downvotes, but in terms of speed of downvotes, it might be a record. And I will point out that at the very bottom of it, Vetamore thinks that enough sentiment has been gathered, including himself, I suppose, and that he acknowledges that it was probably not the right idea and that not many people agreed with that idea. But yeah, did you have anything to say on it?
I'm keen to hear what you thought. Like, were you for it, against it? What was your take?
So for anyone that's not aware of what the idea was, basically he wanted to turn alluvials into packs. Yeah. Basically turn the overworld into discs.
Yeah. Essentially kind of offer a secondary option where instead of going to the overworld to capture alluvials, you could just purchase them. The rationale behind that, if I'm not mistaken, was just because whales, I don't know why I'm doing this, but whales wouldn't want to spend 30 minutes or an hour going through everyone. They just want to purchase them in bulk. So the suggestion was packs, which I don't understand, because if you don't want that was the general idea. But yeah, I thought it was. Yeah.
I think the idea was you could compress 20, 30 runs into one big $500-$600 pack or whatever it might be. And they could it would be a lottery or whatever. It wouldn't be like you're guaranteeing 10 fireys or anything like that. I don't think, but you had to buy lots of stuff at once. Really, the only thoughts I had on this was he's describing the secondary market, and the secondary market's very, the secondary market's very valuable, and kind of undercutting that secondary market is just a bad idea in general. Also, I like the idea of every single alluvial that exists, someone had to go out and capture it. And that also plays in all the bonding curve and everything. But that's a really important aspect of the overworld for me personally, because one of the reasons I came to NFT gaming was because I felt like Pokemon felt weird. I spent 100 to 200 hours every single game. Some games I spent thousands of hours playing, capturing all my Pokemon, training them, breeding them, all the rest of it. Whereas a majority of players hacked them in. And I felt like that devalued all of the time I spent playing the game to a certain extent when it came to competitive Pokemon. I know not everyone sees it like that. And I'm probably in the minority there, but that was a big reason I came to NFT gaming. And one of the reasons I fell in love with Illuvium. So seeing that change would break my heart. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think it was just like, it was a really bad idea by Vetamore. I agree, Silent Sage. Don't we already have it so whales can go? Exactly. And that's the thing that blew me away. It's like legitimately all we need to do then is essentially implement bulk buying in the marketplace. And someone could just go in and pick whatever they want and just buy in bulk. Like that's legitimately that's the issue solved. And it doesn't overinflate the because the idea was as well, like the packs wouldn't have an effect on the deflationary aspect of the alluvials. So the deflationary curve would still stay the same for all alluvials caught inside the game, but packs would just be extra alluvials, which just then inflates the supply by like a crazy amount, which is it was I don't understand the concept. I understand. I just don't understand the thought process there. It just made like zero logical sense. Logical sense.
I should mention that Vetamore's discussion points were that if they could whale in from the DAO, that the DAO would get 100% of those revenues, whereas if they go into the secondary market, the DAO gets the royalty fee, 3% or whatever it might be. And I think everyone underestimates royalty fees. all the Web3 games that made bank during the last bull run, they made all that bank from royalty fees. That was pretty much it. And that's how all markets work. Markets are just royalty fees at this point. Like, the reason stock exchanges and stuff are some of the wealthiest corporations in the world is because they take fees from traders. And I think that's a big element. And I think that's a far more healthy option. And you'd be surprised just how much revenue you could generate just from volume going back and forth.
That's legitimately it, right? And it's just, again, I think the idea was short term, great for the DAO because we get 100%, no problem. But long term, it's just fucking horrendous for the community and the player base. Like, it's just, yeah. And the thing that kind of blew me away was, like, in the middle of the conversation or at the end, he was like, "Oh, I don't even believe in this. I just wanted to put this out to gain sentiment. I just thought, like, what is the purpose of this?" Like, what? It's just, talking for the sake of talking at that point. And I was like, no. But I'm glad to see that the community kind of all down, and even in the chat, I'm glad to see right now that everyone is of that same sentiment, that it was a pretty special, I'll use that word, special kind of idea.
It's always good to have a good, honest conversation about it and bring it to the public forum so we can continue to discuss it. And that's how we improve and keep making even better ideas in the future. That's just is what it is. So is there anything else you want to say before we start to close this one out, our first download?
First download. No, man, I think this was fun. This was really cool. And this is going to be very different from Augment. I'm going to be a little bit more kind of, not that I'm not honest on Augment, but I'm just going to kind of just say it as it is and give you my honest thoughts on this shit. Because I feel like there's a lot of people, especially for someone from the team, we get a lot of feedback from the community, and we don't really have a chance to really kind of not reply or respond, but it's just taken badly. So I want to use this as a space where I can just be like, yo, fuck being a team member, fuck being whatever. I just want to be a person and just kind of just say what the fuck I feel. So I'm really excited for this, and this should be fun, man. And if you guys do follow this, make sure to subscribe to the Sacred Philosophy of TSGism. That is going to help you. No, I'm fucking with you. No. This is fun.
Yep. And don't forget to subscribe down below, and don't forget to subscribe to TSG as well on his channel. This will probably be on his channel next week. We haven't really discussed that yet, but it'll probably be alternating just like Augment is. Look forward to Augment this weekend as well. Don't forget to register for the Illuvium Private Beta 2 if you haven't already. Link will probably be down below. And get excited for everything to come. And with that, the download is complete. Have a good day.